Hi,
Hey.
welcome. Did you find everything okay?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, thanks.
Good. I know it can be a bit of a headache trying to navigate a new place, so I always like to make sure that you didn't have a difficult time finding it.
Thanks.
Awesome. So before we begin, I really would like to just affirm your preferred name and what you prefer to be called.
You can call me Anella.
Okay.
She, her pronouns.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. And then another before we begin, have you had a previous experience in therapy? And if so, what was that like for you?
I have. I've been to 3 different therapists actually in my life. The first 2 were not the greatest, and my last therapist, she was amazing, like life-changing, but I had to stop seeing her because I became a resident of San Diego full-time, and she was only licensed in Hawaii. So that was kind of like a crazy breakup. It felt like I was breaking up with someone. It was like a whole thing. So I haven't been to therapy since, but I think now is as good of time as ever to get back into it. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, it's always comforting to hear that you've had a previous positive therapeutic experience for sure. And so you said that you became a resident here full time. You're from Hawaii?
Yeah, born and raised. I moved here for college. I went to SDSU, and I've just been living here since post-grad, and I'm in a master's program, and yeah, I just live here now. It's crazy.
No, that's awesome. Your venture in life. Yes. Okay. So you kind of addressed it already, but you said now is like as good of a time as ever. So really, I love that for you, and I'm glad that you're here and willing to experience things and really open to it. So before we really get into like the nitty gritty, I have some administrative things to go over with you, and it might be a little boring, so just bear with me. Okay. So my name is Ava. I am a marriage and family therapist trainee, and my clinical supervisor is Dr. Amy Vadney. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist and psychologist. Okay. My scope of practice is working with children, couples and families, and individuals for overall the purpose of achieving more adequate and satisfying and productive relationships. But general life experiences, whatever they really need help with. So today is our first session together, but before we dive in, like I said, I have to go over some things with you. So our sessions will usually last about 50 minutes and take place here in my office. I'm available via Zoom if you prefer to do telehealth, or over the phone as well if that works better for you. Since we're just getting started, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions to better understand what's like bringing you in, not because I'm trying to pry, but we have goals that we're going to set later on together, and I want to know more about you as a whole person. So my goal here is to really create a safe and comfortable space where you can focus on yourself and your growth. Most people begin with weekly sessions, but we can adjust to your frequency based off of your needs, okay? Therapy often lasts anywhere from a few months to 6 months here, depending on your need and what feels right for you overall, okay? We'll figure out the timeline together. It's nothing that has to be settled in right away. Okay? So overall, this process is collaborative. I like to think of it as teamwork, team effort, things like that. I want you to feel like this is your experience, because it is, and you're going to be involved every step of the way, and I'm here to really help facilitate that experience for you. So moving on to the monetary side of things, my fees are $100 an hour. I do accept cash payment, check, credit card. You can pay directly at the front office prior to our sessions or online using our secure platform, which is also available for scheduling as well. Do you have any questions so far? No? Okay, and if you do come up with any questions, you can feel free to check in with our receptionist. She's awesome and totally knowledgeable about all things admin. Sick. A little bit about our office policies. I am in the office Monday to Friday from 10 to 6. If you need to reach me during normal business hours, you can please call the work line listed on my card, which I'll give to you after today's session. You can feel free to email me as well. I probably will get back to you a little bit faster that way. If it is a weekend, I won't respond until the following business day, typically Monday. And after 5 p.m., I'll get back to you the following business day as well. However, if it is an emergency, I would definitely medical, call 911, psychiatric, call the mental health crisis line 988, both available 24/7 if I'm unreachable, or even if I am reachable and it might be more appropriate for you, okay? If you do have a psychiatric emergency after hours, like I said, please call the 24-hour crisis line at 988. I really like to emphasize that just because some people don't know about the psychiatric crisis line as well. That might be better equipped to help. I would advise you also, after I give you my business card, to save my work phone number and the front desk line, as well as the psychiatric crisis number, into your phone, so that can be more accessible to you during a time of crisis.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving along, please be mindful that sessions are 50 minutes, and try your best to arrive on time so that we can make the most of our time together. If you are running late, we will use the time that we have, but we'll need to conclude at the original end time of the session, just to keep on track and be respectful of the time of the others that come after you, okay? So an example of that being, if you're scheduled at 4 o'clock and you're running late, which is fine, communicate with us and let us know. We will still end our session at 4:50. Okay? Awesome. All right. And now moving on to confidentiality. Okay, so when you come here, obviously what you say here stays here. Since I am a trainee, I will discuss my cases with my clinical supervisor, Dr. Badney, who I mentioned earlier. And what's cool is that she's under the same confidentiality umbrella as I am, so the same rules apply. My supervisor will maintain the same level of confidentiality regarding client information, but there are several limits to this confidentiality. One being, if you express a desire to harm yourself or another, then I'll need to contact someone. Secondly, I am a mandated reporter in the state of California, so this means that if I learn about any child abuse, minor under 18, elder abuse, 65 plus, dependent adult abuse, I am mandated to report this to the proper agencies to keep you or someone else safe, okay? If you are having thoughts of self-harm, we will take appropriate steps to ensure your safety, including creating a safety contract, enlisting support from friends or family, and hospitalization if necessary. But be assured that these measures would only be done in order to keep you safe from harm and not to punish you. Okay, I love to emphasize that to new patients just because there can be some misconstruency or fear associated with the words hospitalization.
Yeah.
But just like therapy is your process, everything is here to help you move forward and be safe, okay, overall. If I am subpoenaed, I will only release records if I am court-ordered by a judge to do so. Otherwise, I will assert the patient psychotherapist privilege and maintain confidentiality. Once I get to know you a little bit better and understand what's bringing you in, we'll come up with some goals together. Like I said plenty of times already, this is a team effort, so we'll check in on those goals during sessions to see how things are going and adjust as needed. Checking in again, any questions?
No.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, so if we do happen to bump into each other outside of sessions, Target, TJ Maxx, the gym, things like that, I won't approach you, and this is not because I hate you or because I don't like you. It's to protect your privacy and our confidentiality, okay? But of course, you can always say hello and feel free to approach me if you feel comfortable. So, privacy, personal boundaries is something that is extremely important to me, so don't think that I hate you again.
I won't.
Along with that, I also don't accept friend requests or connect with clients on social media, examples being Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. It really assures that your information and our work together, again, holds its respected privacy. Any questions?
No, sounds good to me.
Okay. So during session, you'll notice that I'll be jotting down notes, things like that, typing on my computer. I'm not ignoring you, I promise, but I do think that it's important that I accurately document your goals so that we can move forward at a steady pace. Okay. So you're welcome to look at your records at any time. Your notes along with your file is kept safe and locked away. If you want to access them, just let me know. And also, along with that, accessibility. If you ever at any point in time feel like that this vibe or like I'm not necessarily the most equipped to handle you or what you're looking for, then that's completely fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings, and I will do whatever I can to refer you out to the most appropriate and capable person to be able to continue your therapy. Okay? So if you would like me to talk with another provider, like your doctor, or let's say I'm referring you to someone, I'll ask you to sign a release of information first, so I have your permission to release those documents to them. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any questions? All right. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't believe so. Oh, really quickly, actually, our cancellation policy. So we understand that life does happen. But if you do have more of enough of a notice, let's say like 24 hours to cancel, you'll be able to avoid our $50 cancellation fee. Now, in extreme cases of emergency, things like that, just communicate with us and we'll do what we can to not impose that fee on you and add more stress to an already stressful situation.
Understandable.
Okay. Awesome. So let's get into it. What got you in today?
Well, I have recently been dealing with a lot of health issues. I have been seeing many doctors, and the idea of like an autoimmune disease is kind of coming up, and it's been kind of messing with me and my mental, and yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for sharing that with me, and going through that, I'm sure, must not be the easiest thing for you.
Not really, no. I've always been like really healthy, and like, you know, I've never really had major sicknesses as a kid or growing up. And so this is just like all kind of new to me. I only like went to the doctors for checkups. Now I'm going like every couple days and just like getting blood work done and seeing results, and all the symptoms are kind of just like messing with my head, you know? Yeah.
Can you tell me when you're going to the doctor, when you say the symptoms are messing with your head, how that really makes you feel?
Yeah, like, you know, I'm 23 and I feel like I should be healthy and I should like not be dealing with these things, and I'm getting like joint pains, and like I mainly get in like my hands and my feet and like my knees and my hips, and I'm like, this is something 60-year-olds deal with, and like I'm not 60. And like one of the symptoms is like my hair falling out, so I'm really like stressed about that aspect, and like breaking out a lot. It's just like, it kind of feels like everything's like, you know, like beaten down. Yeah.
No. And you know, your feelings of the walls closing in on you, I would say, are completely normal for somebody dealing with the amount of stress that you're under. And it's comforting to know that you are seeing medical providers to take care of you, and now you're here to take care of the mental side of things as well. Okay. So with these compounding feelings, how do you cope with your now rigorous doctor's schedule?
I don't really know how I'm coping. I think it's like everything's kind of new and fresh, and so like every time I go, it's like I'll get semi of an answer of what's going on, and then like not really. Oh, we need more tests. So it's a lot of frustration, I think, because I'm hearing these different opinions, and like one's telling me it's like lupus, and then another person's telling me it's not lupus, you need to check more things, and I'm just like, you know, I knew the American healthcare system was hard, but now like actually being in it and like navigating through it, it's just like, it's just really frustrating, and like I can still go to work, I can still go to school, you know, I can still live technically. I'm in a lot of pain, but I can still do it. But I just imagine people who like can't, you know, go to work, like whatever they're going through is like so debilitating, you know, and I'm like, dang, that sucks for them too, you know. It's like I have just so much more empathy for a lot of people now, but I'm just like kind of angry all the time. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that expressing frustration is something that's common, especially, like I said, you're dealing with a lot of stress. So what I'm hearing is that you're under extreme amounts of new stress, as well as a compounding medical illness, but you still manage to have empathy for others that might have it worse than you, not to minimize your pain at involved, right? And so when we talk about maybe developing skills to help lessen the stress and anger and anxiety, what do you have time for in your daily routine to be just for you?
Not much time, but when I do get time, I really just like to like rest now. Like, you know, whenever I would have like a free moment, I would like, oh, I can go do more chores. I can go, like, there are things that need to be done. And now when I do get a free moment, I'm like, I'm in so much pain. I want to just like lay, you know? But then that also starts messing with me because I'm like, I'm not as functional, you know? I can't do as much things as I, you know, usually do. And I think this like lifestyle change is really difficult, and it doesn't make me feel like amazing about myself.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm hearing that you're not finding pleasure in daily activities and that you feel like your world is like completely flipped upside down.
Yeah, I still find some pleasure. I really try.
Okay.
You know, I really try to like, you know, go to the function. Like, you know, if my friends ask me to like hang out, I really try to go despite what I'm feeling.
Right.
But then I'll be at the hangout and I'll just like not feel good, and then it's like kind of ruminating. But I don't want to bring down the vibes. But I'm like, but it's something I'm really going through, so I really try to push through it. But then, I mean, I think I've done this a lot before, but like I'll just kind of, I don't know if it's like pushing it down or if I'm just like really pushing through. Like, I don't know what the difference is for me. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like overall you're a very perseverant person. You've moved from Hawaii to San Diego, you have your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, and you're rocking on through it with these medical conditions going on, and you're doing a lot, and that deserves to be recognized as well. When you feel like these moments of inadequacy due to your joint pain and rumination, things like that, do you feel comfortable just like talking about these things with your friends? Like, who do you have as a support system?
I kind of went through this like last night or the 2 nights ago. I have a lot of really supportive friends, but I've had, you know, a hell of a childhood, a hell of a life, and I've noticed like I have kind of like backed off on like asking for support, because I used to be a huge trauma dumper. You know, like any free moment that my friend has, I'll tell them about what's going on with me, and like, you know, and it wasn't the appropriate time, and so it would create some, you know, just weird feelings there. And I feel like I've kind of continued that, where I want to keep things more lighthearted. Like, I go to my friends to feel better. I don't want to like ruminate on what's going on, because there's nothing they can really do in this case specifically. But I have my boyfriend. Okay. And I was expressing to him how like he's kind of the only person who I can really talk about like the deeper, darker stuff side of this thing, of what's going on with me. Just because it's like there's really nothing that anybody can do, and I don't want to like burden people, and like that's not amazing to like feel, but you know, it's kind of like my battle. And I have supporters. I have people that I know that love me, that are there for me if I need it, but I don't really need it, and I just kind of need their presence, you know.
Those are fair thoughts to have from someone that is going through what sounds maybe chronic illness or chronic pain. Okay. Friends support friends, right? And to have a support system is one of the best things that you can do in order to get through tough times overall. So to have your boyfriend is amazing, and hopefully if you feel like you're comfortable enough, or like it is the appropriate time, to be able to tell one of your friends, hey, maybe I need you for a moment, they'll be receptive to that.
You know, that's so true, but sometimes I feel like I really, you know, like I said, I've been through a lot, and like throughout my life, when I would go to friends for support, you know, they didn't have the same type of experience, or they don't really know what it's like to be in the shoes, so they don't really know what to say. And so I've kind of like not wanted to express like things to friends who haven't really been through it. I have a friend who has had autoimmune issues, so I kind of go a little deeper with her. But some friends who like, you know, have kind of been more sheltered, or like have not really experienced that much about like grief or like chronic pain or something, like I don't find it as beneficial to go to them. I go to them for like other things, like, you know, if I want to pick me up, you know, that's who they're there for. They're not there for me to like vent and like talk about these deeper things, you know?
Okay.
I don't know. It's a little interesting.
So we have boyfriend, and we have a friend that can relate to you because they know what you've been through. So it's a good start, you know. And if that's
I feel very supported.
okay,
Yeah.
then that's really what matters. Let's say for you to support you, do you journal? Do you do any self-care, habitual routines that really ground you and bring you back?
I've been trying to like really take care of like my skin and my hair because there are more things that I have somewhat of a control over. So I've been doing a lot of like hair treatments and skin treatments, and honestly I've kind of stopped that. Like I stopped that a while ago, and I'm kind of going back into it, and just like kind of being intentional with myself kind of helps bring me up, and like, you know, just taking care of what I can take care of has really helped. I haven't really journaled in a while. I don't find it as beneficial to me than just like talking, just because I feel like when I'm journaling, I always want, like, I'm trying to find negative things to say in my journal. I'm trying to like be like, okay, what am I feeling? What am I really feeling? And it's not always completely accurate. It's like I force myself into a dark place in order to write about it. But I try to like just do good things for myself. Try to like go on a walk if I can. Yeah, I have things, and like, yeah, I'm trying to do more with the time I have.
Well, it sounds like you really try to find the positivity in things, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I really do. It's because it just sucks, and like, you know, I get into the moods where like I'll be like, oh, this is gross, like, you know, like things about my body, and then I'll be like, wait, that's not helping literally anybody. So like, why not just try to speak good and just try to put things out into the universe of like, I'm gonna be healthy eventually, I'll find these answers, because there's really like nothing I can do. Like I can sit here and mope all I want, but it's not helpful for me or anybody else, you know. Yeah.
Do you swim?
I don't swim. I've been looking into it. I'm not the strongest swimmer. So I have to get through that hurdle of embarrassment first. But I think that would be really good on my joints and like still staying active. That's also a hard thing with like the chronic pain is like, okay, well, I'm hurting because I'm not active, but if I try to be active, then I'm gonna be in pain. So it's like I'm hurting either way. So I'm like trying to find ways to like still be active while like being kind to my body and not stressing it, you know? Yeah.
So it's like kind of like a catch-22.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And I'm sure, you know, it's all frustrating, you know, and that seems to be like the word of the day. Because earlier you expressed how frustrating and angry you are sometimes. So I want to revisit that for a second and really see what outlets you have to express that anger and frustration while still being the positive person that you are. How do you do that?
This is where I don't know if I'm pushing it down or if I'm pushing through it. That's where I kind of don't know. Sometimes it feels like I bottle things up and then it kind of explodes. But then I also am like, well, obviously I'm gonna explode because this is kind of like a really stressful thing, and like the thing for people to do when they're in situations like this, from what I know, is like you have to stay positive. But it's like, how positive can I be, you know? And so there'll be times where I like kind of have like a big like breakdown over this. But as soon as I like talk about what's going on, I feel instantly better. So it's really just like talking to people that I can trust, that you know, that I know can hear me, and like I know are capable of like being that like strong pillar of support. Then I just feel better. I also like to scream a lot in my car. Just like yeah.
Honestly, I love that for you.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like I love musical theater.
Yeah.
And so like I'll sing like a really belty song, and just like it's kind of like a release of like everything.
Somatic.
Yeah, very somatic. Yeah.
I understand.
Mhm.
You know, that was really what I'm trying to get at here. So you bottle things up and you push them down for so long, like you're bound to explode. And in order to keep yourself from harming someone else or being toxic, things like that, it's essential to find like creative outlets. And I feel like for what you're doing, like you're not hurting anybody else, you're not harming anyone else either.
Definitely not.
No. And just trying to maintain your positivity as best as you can. I'm sure that can be draining sometimes.
Yeah, and like some people are like noticing,
Okay.
and like, you know, can't tell, like I'm kind of really elevated a lot of the time, and I'm like, you know, really sporadic, and I'm really energetic,
Mhm.
and I like that, but like, you know, this is causing me to like be a little more down. And so I'll have like
Okay.
coworkers be like, are you good? And I'm like, how much do I want to share about that? And like, dang, I wish. That's also something that's frustrating, is that I'm like, oh, I have to like come out as chronically ill or like with an autoimmune disorder. But yeah, but then I'll tell them, and then I'll feel better, and it's not as scary. So I don't know.
So you'd like to maintain your privacy more so?
In recent years, yes, I have been just trying to, because I don't want to, like, you know, be a vibe. In my household, we like say vibe terrorist sometimes.
Okay.
Where, you know, someone that just like kills the vibe so bad, and I just don't want to do that with information like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that it's fair if people are genuinely inquiring if you're okay that you're being a vibe terrorist, or you're just being honest?
No, but it's like, you know,
Okay.
it brings me down too to talk
Okay.
about it. So it depends.
Yeah.
But I should probably be more just open, because this is real. You know, I'm not like faking, and like people like real stuff. So.
Well, it's about your comfortability at the end of the day. And it's your situation, it's your experience, just like with therapy. It's what you are comfortable doing and how you want to progress and move forward. So from what it sounds like, you have a support system with your boyfriend, you have a reliable friend that you can relate to and that you feel comfortable expressing yourself with. You have healthy coping mechanisms, screaming in the car and belting from your belly, you know, good music and theatrical theater that you appreciate. So from a perspective, it doesn't seem like unhealthy.
I'm really trying to be healthy with this. Because I've had so many years in therapy, I've kind of, you know, gained a lot of skills, but I just am nervous about getting pulled down to a place that I do. Yeah. And to like a place where it's hard for me to crawl out of, you know? So I'm trying to stay afloat. But it just gets hard depending on the day and depending on the pain, you know. Yeah.
Fluctuations are normal.
It's so true.
You don't have to be okay all the time, especially if you feel like you're putting on a mask around other people. Like it's unsustainable after a certain point. And for someone that sounds like they already have enough going on, it's probably the last thing you want to worry about. But in order to keep yourself afloat, like we said, you have a support system, you have coping mechanisms that you're utilizing that you're comfortable with, and you also have, it sounds like, great boundaries with people when you want to discuss